Let's look at how to do that tricky Toyota front brake rotor replacement on your two-wheel drive model. I'm going to give you a YouTube short right here in the beginning of this video. That way, for those that are just wanting to kind of see it and not have to watch a long video, this is the disassembly. And then we'll go from the disassembly to taking the rotor off, then splitting the hub from the old rotor, putting the hub back onto the new rotor, and then reassembling. I think this will help you real quick if you're just wanting to get a quick overview of it. If not, and you're just really kind of not sure, you're new to this, then watch the full video.
Now we've got to remove the caliper bracket. And again, these are 17 millimeters, and they're going to be tight. It'd be a good idea to inspect your old boots, make sure they're not ripped or anything. These are still in good shape. That keeps the water out of your guide pins. Now we have to straighten up the wheel, pull off the bearing cap, and remove the front bearing and pull the whole rotor and hub assembly off together. And then we'll separate it in the garage. Just take you a thin chisel. I mean, you can use a screwdriver because you don't have to really beat that hard. Now if you're changing the rotors out when you're doing your front brake job, these are not slip-on rotors, and they're not like the old cars where the hub itself is casted into the rotor. You have to unbolt them. So we're going to unbolt these bolts. Taking them apart is not a big deal. Putting it back together kind of is, because if you don't have these bolts evenly torqued and over torqued or even under torqued, you can actually cause this rotor to warp or come loose. Okay, I've taken all the 5 bolts out, and I measured the torque taking them out. They're 50. It took about 55 foot-pounds to break it, so I would say the torque is probably 52 to 55. You could probably torque them at 60 foot-pounds and be fine, but somewhere between 50 and 60. And make sure they're all even, and it probably wouldn't hurt to put just a hair bit of maybe the blue Loctite on the thread, just to ensure they don't ever come loose. Now this is stuck to this. I mean, it's coming apart, tapping on the back side of the hub part, but I'm going to get a chisel and knock down there and just kind of separate it to keep from having to beat and bang on everything.
If you notice the gap right here between the rotor and the hub, that's where you can put a chisel or a screwdriver, anything that will give a kind of a wedge quality, so that it just kind of pulls the two apart, and you work yourself around. You don't try to do it all in one spot unless it just pops off, but you do a little here, a little there, and then it'll just pop right off, and you shouldn't have to really beat anything up or destroy anything to get it to come apart.
And voila, they're separated. I highly recommend taking your bearings out and cleaning them and re-greasing them, repacking them. I put a new grease seal and everything on it as well. Now with your new rotor, you're going to want to use some brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner or some type of lacquer thinner, but you're going to want to clean the oil and the coating they put on this rotor to protect it while it sits around in storage. So clean that up. Get your hub. Generally line the holes up. And you don't have to do this. It's just it's a recommendation. But I would suggest putting just a little bit of blue thread locker on the bolts. Since these bolts only torque at 55 foot-pounds, I'm just going to use my 3/8 gun to run these up. And you're going to do it in the star pattern, just like you would if you were putting your lug nuts on. And if you notice, I'm not trying to torque it at 55 foot-pounds all at once on one of them. If I can, this one, because it's the last one. So. I've already repacked the inner bearing. I'm going to have to repack the outer bearing, and I have a video on how to pack bearings, so if you're not sure how to do it, I'll put the link to that video down in the description. Okay, I repacked the bearings, put them back in, tied that nut down, and what I did is I just kept turning that nut because it's really kind of too hard to show you. And I spin it and it would be really free, and I just kept tweaking it until it just had just a hair bit of resistance. You don't tighten it down too tight or you'll burn the bearings up. And you don't leave it too loose or the rotor will come loose. Now the putting on a cotter key, just wrapping it around the front and bend both sides. They make a cotter key, one leg's a little bit longer than the other. The reason why, so you can get a hold of the leg and bend it. course, this cotter key replacement I have is a little bit too long. That's all I had. So we'll shorten it up a little bit. And I'll tuck that thing in. And that'll make it easy next time somebody wants to take this thing apart. And that's how you put a cotter key on. You can tap your cap on a little bit with a hammer, but don't beat on it. It'll cave it in. Chisel you took it off with, you put it on with. Catch that little lip right there. If you got a big socket you can use, just in to catch that lip. Again, I keep forgetting, I'm going to have to get a remote control for the camera. It's no big deal. This isn't bolted on yet. I just stuck the caliper bracket back up here. But I went ahead and put loaded the pads onto the bracket first. That way it makes it easier. Sometimes it makes it easier. But I got them in, so now we got to tighten it down. And then I'm going to grease those, clean and grease those caliper pins. Put the caliper, we got to compress the piston in the caliper and then slide it back on. And then the brake job is done. And I use the compression tool. There's 3 different kinds. It's just one I use quite often. I like to use it because if the piston for some reason really requires a lot of force to compress in, then it probably needs the caliper changed. If you can easily turn it like I am right here, and really no effort, I don't try to go real fast. And with new pads and new rotors, you're going to want to compress the piston all the way in. So far it's been real smooth and steady. There, now it's compressed all the way in. I always just look around to make sure it doesn't look like it's wet with any brake fluid, because that means you've got leaking seals. And then we'll just set it up here for now, and I got to clean those pins, get your boots semi-lined up. You have to use a screwdriver to flip them back around or wiggle it. Caliper pins, and then it's done. Just kind of wash your caliper pin down with a brake cleaner. You might have to scuff it a little bit if it's got any burrs on it, but if it's too bad, then you're going to want to replace it, because this is what the calipers have to slide on. And just put you some caliper grease on it. Don't put regular grease on it because it can't eat up the rubber. It's made that makes all this stuff up. And I always screw it in by hand first. Don't try to use a ratchet to force it. It's better to try to start it 2 or 3 times than to run it by cross threading it. Because on this, the caliper's what's threaded. You'll be getting a new caliper. And I was watching a little dust boot, and it's kind of like getting stuck on the bolt, and it all of a sudden slipped up over in the little groove it goes in. And that's what you want to look for. Make sure that it does go in that groove, and that helps it seal the water and dirt out when you're going down the road. So be sure to pump your pedal up before you try to put it in drive and take off. Make sure you got a brake pedal first. So what do you think? Do you think that doing a front brake job and changing the rotor out like this process was is too hard?
If this is your first time of doing a rotor change and a brake job on one of these 94 Toyota pickup trucks or in this body style, be sure to leave me a comment and ask me a question. I'll always respond to my comments. I also offer an Ask a Mechanic service for free, so if you go to my website, which is in the description down below, ask me a question. Anyways, I hope this video helped, and if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe, and always check back because I'm always working on something crazy. See you in the next one.